Hello, Amy White from Worthy Written Words, and today we are going to be in our wide margin journaling edition Book of Mormon in Alma chapter 5, and we're going to be doing verses 14 through 33. Now, last time we did the Book of Mormon subscription, we had this layout on that same page where verse 14 starts. So today we're going to do it on this opposite side of the page since the majority of the verses are on that page anyways. So don't worry if you've done the last one, you can do both of these in the same Book of Mormon. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put some clear gesso on this page. I prefer to use the brands from either Art Basics or Dina Wakley. Either one of those are great, and just make sure it's clear and not white. Now we're going to make sure that we cover the whole page and that we want this to be totally dry before we get started on the next step. So I'm going to use a heated tool to dry the page, or you can let it air dry. Don't worry if your page is curled, that'll eventually fix itself. Now I'm going to put this clear lantern sticker in the bottom right corner of my page. It's going to cover some of the words, but I can read them in person. If that bothers you, then you can push this off to the side a little bit and cut off any of the extra that hangs off of the page. So that's a personal choice, but you can kind of see on the page itself that you can read the words through it. So if you really are concerned, you can still read it. So next, what we're going to do is we are going to use a water brush pen and the orange distress crayon. I believe it's called Carved Pumpkin. And we are going to start with the outside corners and work our way into the middle of this page. So starting with the orange and some water. And if you don't have a water brush pen, you could also use a paintbrush and a cup of water. That would work just as well. I am blending this color out. And the thing to know with this, what we're doing is we are going to try and leave the area closest to the lantern white for as long as possible. We don't want to cover that with a ton of color. So we start with the darkest colors in the corner, and then we're going to put some yellow next to the orange and kind of blend those together and try to keep as much white right around the lantern as possible, or the lightest color yellow. So we are going to put a coat of this on, then we'll let it dry, and then we'll put some more coats on to darken it and get the deep colors that is what is so pretty about this layout. So just you can do it light if you'd rather do it light and just do one coat, but I think it looks really pretty with lots of coats. Also, you'll notice that I keep a circular pattern with this. When I go to add the yellow, I'm going to create kind of a circular arch around the lantern. And this is to help keep the look of the light shining around the lantern. So I'm not doing like big up and down strokes, but here you can see I'm going to do like a circular shape around it. And I'm going to continue to make it look circular like that and not up and down or side to side. Now using the brown distress crayon, ground espresso, we're going to create a shadow of this lantern. And you can start off small if you're a little nervous about this. It's just doing like an oval, like a half oval, right next to the lantern. So I kind of started off small just because I was a little unsure of how I wanted it to look. And then I end up adding a little bit more to it and make it a little bit bigger. And most of this is going to be covered up with words anyways. And so I didn't really stress too much about it. You won't even see most of it. And I also use this brown to put in the three corners where the orange is, just to give it a little bit of a rusty, dirty vibe like the lantern has. You could add more brown if you want. I didn't add very much, but I think it would look cool if you had more. Now we're going to add the shine stickers to the footnotes. And a little tip is to put your stickers so that they are almost completely off of a scrap of paper. And that way you can kind of space them out how you want them to be, and you can figure out like how much spacing you have to work with, and then you can space them evenly on this little scrap piece of paper before you permanently attach it to your page. And this will help you from having to rearrange it, pull it off and rearrange it a bunch on your actual page. Now I'm going to play around with this little subtitle. It could be one line, or you can make it be two different lines. You can center it, you can off center it. I just play around with it until I came up with a way that I liked that it looked the best. This next step is optional. If you have glossy accents from a previous kit, then you can lay this on top of the glass part of the lantern, and you'll want to let it sit and dry for several hours before you attempt to touch it or mess with it. You don't want to use a heated tool to let this dry. It just has to air dry. And if you get any bubbles in it, then you're going to want to pop those right away as soon as you see them. But I'm just going to fill this whole glass section up and then let it dry, and it leaves a really cool glossy look that makes it look like it's actually glass. Now using a glue stick, I'm going to attach the tab to the top of my page, and then I'm going to attach it even more firmly with some washi tape. Next, we're going to want to make sure that we have our hot glue gun turned on and heating up because we're going to work on the page topper. So once you have your hot glue gun ready, we're going to take one of these beads and put some hot glue right where the hole is on the bead, and then we're going to attach that to our wooden stick. And this may take a couple tries where it's not super sturdy on there. You want it to be sturdy so it doesn't just fall right off. So if you have it on and it doesn't feel stable, then take the glue off and try it again, maybe on a flatter surface. And we're going to do this 2 times. We're going to make 2 matches by putting the glue on the amber bead, and then we're attaching it to the wooden stick. Now on this Matchbox cardstock, it may be hard to see, but there are actual lines where you want to fold it. If you can't see them, then you can just create your own. But you fold it so that there's a spot on the bottom to fold up and where you can staple it with a stapler. Now I go and use a bone folder to make that crease really nice and tight. If you don't have a bone folder, you don't have to do this part. It's just over the years a tool that I've collected. It's just really nice for making super sharp, crisp fold lines. But after that is the way it's supposed to be, then I'm going to staple it together, and then I'm going to hot glue these matchsticks. So you can see they're really long, so you have to cut them so that they're a little bit shorter, unless you want them long, but realistically they wouldn't fit inside the Matchbox that way. So on the back, we're going to attach the little piece of felt with the paper clip, and we're going to kind of have it on the top part of the Matchbox so that we can let it slide down onto our page and it's not sticking really high off the top of our page. So that goes all the way up to the top of our Matchbox, and then we're going to flip it around and we're going to hot glue these matches to the top of the Matchbox. Now we can put this on the top of our page, and I am going to use some more washi tape to help secure underneath the Matchbox. It can be any washi tape, no one's going to even see it. So that'll just help it from falling off the page because it's a heavier topper. And that is going to be the last step of this page kit. I hope that you guys had as much fun as I did making it. Be sure that you are subscribed to our channel so that you can get all of our latest video releases, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!